Hey, coming up on today's podcast, once again, our good friend Neil Tjin from ELECTRIFY EXPO is going to be on with us today, and we are going to get into the nuts and bolts of the first show that was held this season in Long Beach. And Neil's been a pretty busy guy, and we're going to let him get into a lot of that. He's going to tell you about the upcoming shows. He's going to tell you how you can get a hold of him. He's going to tell you what he's working on. He's going to tell you who he's collaborating with. So please, everybody, stay tuned for all that and much, much more right after this. Hey, everybody, welcome into this very special edition of The Counter Show, the greatest show on earth in the automotive industry, and much, much, much more. Hey, Keith. Hi, Neil.
Hey, what's up, sir? How are you?
We're good. We're good. So glad to have you back on to give us the details of the last show in Long Beach. And I've been following you every step of the way. And you're having a good time, aren't you?
Yes. Well, one, thank you guys again for letting me be on your podcast. As you said, it's one of the best in the business. So I appreciate it. And yeah, I'm exhausted. My voice probably sounds like you know what, but I am having fun. Thank you for introducing me with that title. I'm so used to hearing Neil from Tjin Edition, and it's an honor working with Expo and Showoff. Like I told the guys this morning, we're on to something I really believe can help change the industry in a good way. So, let's rock and roll and have a good time and tell people what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad you brought that up about this is exactly what your goal is. Your goal is to introduce people to the world of electrification. And there's limitless things that you can do at this point. I'm seeing it firsthand by following you and just some of the creative things that are coming out of these shows just for you alone. So, and getting into some of that, like, for example, I noticed that you have some collaborations going on with the Super 73 bike. You've got a wheel collab going on, right?
Yeah, there's a lot. So the crazy thing about Showoff, it's all aftermarket. And we met at SEMA, you saw the Lightning. It's still new to the space. So like for Showoff, we had cars, bikes, scooters. We had a Batmobile, everything electric, of course. So I ended up doing a couple of bikes with Super 73 and working with Chris Customs. Now they're doing 3-piece wheels for bikes. As you guys know, I've done, 200 sets of wheels so on the car space. So it just keeps growing, and the possibilities are endless, to be honest with you, between cars, bikes. I just worked with Kofin to do a motorcycle that's electric. I mean, you'll see. So Showoff is a small entity within Expo. Expo is gigantic. And that's what I tell people. It's not, people hear car show, and we've all been to them. You walk around for an hour or two, and let's just call it what it is, you get bored. Expo is massive. There's bike vendors, like e-bikes, there's motorcycles, there's ride and drives. You don't get bored because there's so much to do. You could bring your families. There's a kid zone. Our kid zone is bigger than some car shows. That you could take your young kids. So
absolutely.
Sure.
Yeah, I was really impressed with that. I saw some of the footage, and you've got an MC that's every day getting out there talking about the show and getting it all up in socials. And I really, because it makes me feel like I'm right there, and it's a lot of fun to watch some of the things that are new this year that I saw. While we're in the space of e-bikes, I saw that, there's kids and adults both that are out there test riding some of these e-bikes and scooters, which is really, really fun. So how has that changed the experience for the families coming in the door? Surely it's got to be just a huge draw for families.
That's the biggest thing. So I run Showoff, but you guys know me, I love people. So right. I'm at the gate, walking around, a lot of families. I mean, I have family. I have a family with a 12 and 14-year-old now. So this is the only place that you can come with your family. They can ride 30, 40 different e-bikes. You can test them before you buy it. Then on the other side, we have motorcycles. We have a fast track. Then if you have young kids, there's the kid zone. You can ride go-karts. You can ride scooters. And then, for instance, now we have Tesla. That was the big news. I don't know if you guys saw. We are the first entity, but you want to drive a Tesla, a ton of people driving Lightnings and Mach-Es. So we had friends and family come. We had my son's basketball coach was dying to drive a Lightning. Where can you go drive a Lightning around Long Beach, around the venue? So there's a little bit of everything, but it is very, very friendly oriented, which I love, because car shows are more for us. My son might go, but your wife gets bored, your daughter's not coming to hang out. So now while I'm at Show Off, they're riding e-bikes. My wife could be with one of my kids at the kids zone. So it's really awesome to see it all in one place.
Yeah, I'm looking at the list of sponsors you have on Show Off, and this has been the age-old, at least for this current generation. When EVs were a new thing, it was, but it was kind of niche, or as Jay would say, niche. And you've got Yokohama on here. You've got a long list of sponsors, Tesla, as you mentioned, but not just your typical like tire and automotive manufacturers. You've got aftermarket component, these are some cool brands that are kind of expanding the capabilities. People used to say, yeah, but you can't customize an EV. And Neil, you did one at SEMA. You've done several at SEMA that were electric. This is cool. Like, you could come and just learn about the possibilities of what you could do if you were interested at all in making some modifications on any level, right? I mean, you've got all these people there to kind of tell you how to do it.
Yeah, that's the cool thing about Show Off. So, again, with you guys at SEMA, 2 years ago, the Mach-E was really new. Really new. Like, people had no idea what was happening. We didn't know what was happening. Lightning was much better received with the partners, with the media. But yeah, if you look at our list, we've got more than a dozen OEMs, more than some auto shows, more than some of our competitors or other shows. And then even in our space, it's our first show. We had 25 vendors. We had Yoko. We had McGuire's, who I've been working with since the 90s. We had Toyo. And then we had other brands like Shop Monkey. So it's just a variety. Seatbelt Planet was there, who does all my seatbelts. Wheel Warehouse, where my brother works, Wheels and Tires, Daily Visual. They do custom wraps. They end up doing, they do all my Porsche wraps. So it's just bringing people into the space, carbon fiber wheels. And it's really just growing. Honestly, and this is what I wanted to get across on the podcast, we're literally just starting. I've even talked to my boss. I believe we're a 10th of where we could be. We haven't tapped into the motorsports, rallycross, the whole off-road segment, razors. There's so much drifting, ride and drives. I could keep going. The launch pad, the digital online of Show Off. My mind has 20, 30, 40 more things to bring. So right now, if you saw the map, it was really big. You had Show Off in the middle. You had the OEMs. You had the bikes, motorcycles, ride and drive. Show Off can eventually become as big as Expo, to be honest with you. You could have your off-road section, your rally cross, your drifting. Some of the show car guys want to give people test rides in there. We had a 1964 Galaxy that won Best EV Conversion. BC Moto's Porsche, Rywire's S2000, Brian's Best of Show Bel Air, which was the first lowrider EV. That's just some. I'm not even talking about the Teslas, my Lightning. If you ever want to go in a modified Mach-E, I don't mind giving you a ride. Where else are you going to experience that besides Show Off?
Sure.
Or Expo. So
and I'm going to hold you to that in Seattle. So let's get ready for that. And
yes, sir. Whatever you want, you guys.
Yep.
Our house is your house.
I need a parking pass. So
that I don't know if I can do, but I can get you in. I could get you to the front of the line. I
want to park my motorhome out back and just
I'll try. You know me. If
I know,
anything for family,
I'm just messing with you, man. No, I'll take it. Don't get me wrong. If you can,
if I can make it happen, I'll do it. Yes, sir.
We'll only be a couple of hours north of you when we come down to see you, though. So
awesome.
We're looking forward to it, and we'll bring some friends along with us too, some people that we work with up this way. So
awesome.
So this is great, and I'm glad that you bring that to the forefront about the endless possibilities again. And I got to reiterate that and hit on that, because when we were at SEMA last year, that was the thing we wanted to make that point too. Like there was a surfing wagon that was the Nissan EV. The guy from South Carolina, and forgive me, dude, from South Carolina, I forget what his name, Tommy something Customs. Anyway, that was a really neat way to kind of present to the public. So you can do with an EV the same thing you can do with a gas engine. It's different propulsion. You're still customizing the vehicle. And I'm not real sure from your standpoint, as someone who's built many custom vehicles, is it easier per se to customize an electric vehicle or not?
That's a great question. When the Mach-E first started, it was way harder. No one knew what they were doing. Even as a first Ford build, it was different. Now with the Lightning, it's pretty similar. And this is what I tell people at Show Off. It's like, they're like, we can't modify this or that. It's a car. It's the same. I've had Hondas, 4 cylinders. I've had 1,200 horsepower supercharged V8s in my Camaro. And now I have a Lightning that's still 0 to 60 in 3.6 seconds. As you guys know, we did the Durango Hellcat at the same time.
Yes.
Both super fast, both fully built. So to me, it's the same. And that's what I don't think people understand. They see, right now there's a lot of Teslas. And I get it. Tesla was first.
They were first.
Everybody,
yeah.
Everything's made for Teslas. It's like when we had Hondas in the 90s. But then you got Nissans, and then you got the Euros. So for me, it's exciting to talk to the OEMs and to car show competitors and builders, because why can't you build a Mach-E like you build a Civic? Why can't you build a Lightning like you build an F-150?
Right.
Okay, I have a frunk. I don't have a motor. I'm not going to supercharge it, but interior is the same. Wheels, tires, brakes, tent.
Fridge.
In the back.
Yep.
The fridge, the grill, the bike rack. I use my Lightning to take around my Super or my Kofin. So people just need to understand. I think it's big on educating. And like we talked about, this was us in the 90s, before we started with HIN and the NOPI Nationals and NDRA. Oh, a Civic can't go 9s. Okay. And then you had the Ford Focus with Sean Carlson and Ben Ma. Focuses can't do this. Okay. And I think it's the same thing. It's going to take some time, but we have partners believing in us. And this is what I told everybody at Long Beach. When we are as big as the NOPI Nationals were, and you got 5, 6, 7,000 cars and 1,500 vendors, don't laugh, because I am a little cocky bastard when I tell you, I saw it coming. I saw it in the tuner space, and I'm nobody. We've talked about this. I went on the NOPI tour as a teenager and met people. Then I started working for NOPI. BJ Burtwell, who's the owner of Expo and a good friend of mine, I've known 23 years. He saw this vision 3 years ago. We were 3 shows, then 5. Now we're at 7. Let's just say next year there'll be more. Wink, wink.
Yeah.
Could be 10, could be 12. We're expanding, internationally. I've had friends from Indonesia, Japan, Taiwan. And again, that's down the road, but they're seeing it. How do we do an EV conversion for the Tokyo Auto Salon or for the big shows in Indonesia? So the possibilities are endless. And I think a question to you as well is like, the biggest thing, and this is still the talk, is the range, but we have friends driving up from LA to San Francisco. You're going to laugh. This is a conversation we're having in a few minutes. We have people coming from all over the country, skipping a show the week before to come to Austin from LA, from Miami, from New York in EVs. Don't get me wrong, it still gives me a little anxiety, but we work with a company called ChargeWay. His name is Matt Teskey. He's close friends of Expo. And I used this app this weekend to go out to the desert in my Lightning. And there's enough charging stations. I don't know if you guys saw. Now you can charge your Fords at Tesla stations with an adapter.
Yes.
So
that's why you want. It's why you want to bring me along, Neil. I've got the RV with the solar panels on the roof, and you can just plug in next to me, and you don't even. I am your charging station.
The crazy thing that's awesome too. So we did the NOPI Nationals, the tours, back in the 90s, and we are going to have show off tours from all over the country. And that's the greatest thing you said. It's like traveling with guys like yourself or with partners on the road who can charge. This is a game changer.
Yeah.
We're going to have cars from all over the country coming to Austin next year, coming to Long Beach. So builds are the same. It's now educating people that you can drive them.
Yep.
And you can enjoy them for sure.
So I want to give everybody the full list of locations for the remainder of the year. Jay, Neil's called out his. We've got some brand partners. Jay's got a list we probably need to mention, and then let's tell everybody where they can attend the rest of the shows. You go first, Jay.
You want me to talk about the brand partners, and we're going to do that. And these brand partners work with an electric vehicle. Period. So don't be afraid of it. If you have an EV, you're going to want to shop over there too. We have two that we want to talk about today that coincides with what we're talking about. Shows. If you want to show your vehicle off, we have one of our brand partners is Discount Ramps. So if you want cribs, you want to get the front end lifted up so you can show underneath or whatever, we sell that stuff. But we have an exclusive discount code for anybody that goes to discountramps.com. And that code is 10% off your entire order. So just use code GURU10. But we also have...
What if I like Black Widow stuff for my Super 73?
Exactly. For your Super 73 that you might be carrying on the back end, go get yourself a Black Widow Pro carrier. They have carriers, they have ramps, they have all these haulers. Go to blackwidowpro.com. And we also have an exclusive coupon code for you today. Use coupon code GURU15, and you get 15% off your entire order. Tell them we sent you. There you go.
Thank you, Jay. So I'm looking at Neil just came off of Long Beach. That was at the Long Beach Convention Center, May 19th to 21st. And then next up, June 24th to 25th, Alameda Point in San Francisco.
Yes, sir.
I love that you guys have aerial shots of the actual venues in these. Then towards the end of July 22nd and 23rd, RFK Stadium in the Washington, D.C. area. August 12th and 13th, Nassau Coliseum, Long Island, New York. September 9th and 10th, this is the one we'll be at, Marymore Park in Redmond, which is the Seattle area.
Outside of Seattle,
Jay, you know how to get there?
Absolutely, I do.
And then October 14th and 15th, Neil's old stomping grounds, Miami-Dade Fairgrounds in Miami. Let's see.
Wait a minute. This show coincides. Whoa, wait a minute. This is going to be a tough call.
Yeah. All right. We'll come back to that. And then November 10th to the 12th, you're at COTA, Circuit of the Americas in Austin. Here's the thing that I love about this as a just general public, Neil. Tickets are what, like $20? You are not going to go to an expo like this on any level.
That's right.
For that price. The cost to bring an entire family to something like this is such a huge bargain. Yeah.
And remember, like I told you, it's not just a car show. I agree. I'm smiling because I told my boss this. It cost me $30 to get into Joshua Tree National Park.
Right.
Like, what?
Dude, I will be over on the scooters and the...
Everything for $20.
Yeah, you guys will just lose me. I'll be over there. You guys can do the car thing.
We're going to come back with so much content for our channel from Seattle, Keith especially. But here's one thing.
If you would let me park in the parking lot, I could just start shoving that stuff in the back.
That's going to be our sell. You got to tell my boss this. I actually said that. We had friends come to Long Beach, and they couldn't believe it was $20. I bought 2 Pepsis for $8.
Yeah,
for what? $9.
That's a deal.
It is. And again, we're about the people, and we talked about this because we had record numbers at Long Beach. Like I said, I was the same thing. I'm like, $20 to ride 40 e-bikes and then go ride motorcycles and then go ride the Lightning. Or we had, I think, one of the $100,000 BMWs that even everybody was like, I got to go ride the big BMW. And I'm like, yeah, it's $20. I know it doesn't sound right.
The last one of the season, which is November 10th to the 12th, which is in Austin, Texas.
Yes, sir.
Is November 10th to the 12th. Okay, I'm hammering this point home because there's something else the first week in November that's going to be I suspect going to be an interesting thing to observe this year. Now, this, if you don't know about Circuit of the Americas, it is a world-class racetrack. They do literally you have MotoGP that races there. You have all of the highest echelons of racing. COTA has the track that's capable of hosting those. This is a beautiful track. It's amazing, and it's in Austin. Austin's kind of a cool, eclectic city. Yeah. It's great weather in November. It just to be able to walk that area, to be on those grounds for the price. There are people that would pay anything just to get access to the track. So, all right. So back to this date thing. Okay. So Neil, you are a long time SEMA exhibitor, I guess, right? Builder, exhibitor,
everything.
SEMA's always the first week in November. Now, a lot of these folks are potentially going to be presenting at both locations, right? How are you going to pull that off? What are you thinking? Like, what are you thinking? And then, dude, what are you thinking?
I've been thinking about it since last year when I went to Austin, because you guys saw me at SEMA, and then my now boss, BJ, conned me, I know he's going to watch this, into going to Austin. And I was exhausted. You guys saw me. So it was, and I wasn't even working Austin. I went for a day, walk around, learn the show, the whole 9 yards. But you're right. So this year we've got Miami 2 weeks before, which is my old hometown. The venue is spectacular, right in the middle of Dade County, right in the middle of Kendall. And then I come home, and then we do have SEMA, which is usually for me 8 days, set up Saturday to the following Saturday. And then Austin is the following week. And for me, that starts on Wednesday, because Wednesday I have to walk the grounds like Long Beach. Thursday is setup. Friday is industry day and half the show day. And then Saturday, Sunday. So yeah, where it gets interesting for me, first question everybody is asking me, am I still going to SEMA? Right now, yes. I don't know in what capacity. I don't think I'll be able to do 8 days with Miami and Austin. And then now, so this is the funny part. We just had Long Beach. It was, for its first event, a raging success. I am not happy because I'm a perfectionist and I know what it could be. But we do have, I'm not going to name them, competitors that are already, whatever, I'll say it, that are going to skip SEMA to come to Austin. And I'm sure it's going to ruffle some feathers, but I respect, I'm not going to curse the crap out of SEMA. They've been great to me, 23 years and counting, 170 plus SEMA cars. And I think the industry is big enough for everybody, but it is going to be tough for people to go from Vegas to Austin. As I mentioned earlier in the podcast, we have people coming from all over the country. I guess it's the continent. I have people coming from Canada.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
and like I said,
everything's changing, right? Like, SEMA is also changing the structure of that show towards the end of the week, and they've had to change their platform because of the technological changes that have happened. Some of those are electrification. I mean, whether or not you were a factor of that change or the Electrify Expo itself was a factor, change is going to happen one way or the other. It already is. Someone is going to do it. I don't know that you could have stopped that momentum.
Yeah, I mean, and like I said, BJ had this vision years ago, and it was ahead of its time. I mean, I went to the first expo here in Orange County, in Irvine, and to see what it is now, that's what I told you, that's what I see for Showoff.
Yeah.
It was really cool 3 years ago. It's a different animal, and there has to be change. Like you said, we've all been in it since the 90s. It's an evolution of life. It's an evolution of the industry. It's an evolution of cars. And I think that's the cool thing. And I'm grateful to be part of something like this. I'm grateful for the people I'm meeting as yourselves. And I'm grateful to lead the next generation. People who helped me get to where I am. I was telling one of the guys this morning, he's built an awesome Tesla. His name is Merck. They have one of the biggest call clubs. It's funny, they're called Ruined. because everybody thinks they ruin their cars.
You're right. I love it.
They're the biggest hitters. They won best crew, and they're coming, no joke, with like 30, 40 cars to Austin.
Wow.
From all over the country. Like I said, one tour is from Miami, one's from New York. We're coming from LA, and that's just one entity. But these guys are now where we were. They're going to help set the trends, build badass cars that happen to be electric, and help push this forward into, let's see where the next 10 years takes us.
Right. Yeah. Man, speaking of what goes into this, you're as you were talking about these guys bringing 30 cars to these shows, and I know for sure you bring the Lightning and the Mach-E. How many people and how many other things are you bringing to these? What does it take on your end to make it happen for you to be able to show?
I don't think we have enough time. It's a lot, and I just had a debriefing with my team. So you guys have known me a little bit, but most people who know me, one, I said this at Show Off, I don't fail. I try not to. My work ethic, it's a lot. It goes in. So for Show Off, it's really my baby. It was in my head, but laying out the floor plan, making sure the vendors are not just happy, parked right. I'm gonna try to do this quickly. Parking the show cars, working with my head judges, Lewis and Ray, who I've worked with for 20 years. We've got over 50, 60 years of judging experience. You saw it on my post. Don't laugh. I'm quote unquote the director, but building the goodie bags, setting up my lounge, setting up my trussing, making sure everything's perfect. You're looking at them. Like I said, it's a lot of work, but I'm not going to let Show Off fail. I talk to every competitor. I talk to every vendor. I want to make sure they're having a good time, anything they need. And then honestly, at the end of the night, at the end of the weekend, recapping, seeing what we can do better, see how we could build the industry. So it's a lot of work, and that's just on site. Off site, on Instagram, DMing people, getting vendors, working with my team. You'll laugh. I keep saying you'll laugh because I'm trying not to cry. We designed the trophies, which I'm super stoked with. That took months. We didn't want to do a generic trophy, as you guys saw. They're all custom made out of wood. None of them are the same. Every pattern's different. The stickers, the clothing, the apparel, the pins.
Man.
Everything.
Yeah. Wow. So we can kind of relate, though. I mean, you almost have to. You're the guy for sure. If there is a person that you would put in charge for success, you have that personality. Now, Jay, I'm gonna steal one of your jokes here. So, because I can also relate to this. Who's judging the shoe contest? I need to know so that I can make sure. You're a little bit of a shoe collector, yes, Neil?
Yes, I am. I didn't know it was that big of a deal.
As am I. But if we're gonna do this, I'm gonna make sure that I show up ready. Okay, so just
please.
Well, when we met you, Neil, at SEMA last year, that's the first thing that Keith noticed. Man, he's like, "Dude, check his shoes out," because Keith is a bit of a he collects shoes as well. Yeah, so.
How many pairs do you have?
I can't. This is not while we're recording. We can talk later.
It's that many? I only have. Well,
who's asking? Just a couple.
I'll tell you this. And everybody who knows me, I always wore sandals. I don't even wear sneakers to church. I wear sandals to SEMA only because I have to. And this year I wore shorts because I wasn't really there for Ford. And I wear them when I work, but I never had shoes. My son has a lot of shoes.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then they bought me a pair a couple years ago at SneakerCon, and then it just snowballed.
Yeah.
And I'm sure I see your smile.
Same thing, man.
Wait a minute. Did you just say SneakerCon?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a real deal.
Yeah.
Huh?
There's
man, that's amazing.
There's entire documentaries on it. It's.
I thought I had it bad.
There's transactional stuff. So unlike maybe like an expo show that's automotive centric, where sometimes you can't really buy things. Like, you're not going to walk away and buy a Ford F-150 Lightning at the show,
or a body
right?
kit.
Yeah. now you can get the contact information and follow up later. At SneakerCon, they are making cash deals, and there are people showing up with like armored truck amounts of cash and like selling stocks of shoes.
Yeah.
It's
Oh no,
insane.
they're like I said, I'm new to it, but I'm sure Keith knows there's $100,000 shoes.
Oh yeah.
I'm
He
like,
pointed
why
it
don't I
out
just-
to me. Yeah. It's
Why don't I just buy a house?
right.
What? I have a couple, but it's mostly gifts for my son and my wife.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It's-
but we should. So someone DM me. We should have a best sneaker of show.
I
off.
mean, if we're gonna, there's some automotive centric. There's a Gulf Racing pair of Dunks that I've been
of
eyeing.
Dunks. Yes.
There's some. I mean, there's this. There's a 7-Eleven one that's getting close to $1,000 a pair, I think.
Yep. There was a Krispy Kreme one.
Yep.
Oh, I'm gonna DM you some stuff.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll talk sneakers offline. But yes, that is a whole nother thing. But that's the cool thing about show off. Our demographic. This is what I guess is a good segue. We wanted to make show off, and I think I said this in the first podcast, our own vibe, the music, the culture, the clothes, the shoes, the models, everything changed in Long Beach. I mean, you could sense the vibe and the culture shift, which is super cool. Like you said, I didn't even think about shoes. I just wore them because I wear them, and people stopping you, my coworkers, they're like, look at you with the drip. I'm like, I don't know what that means. I'm 44 years old. I
Yeah.
just want to wear cool shoes and build cool cars and hang out with people like you. So
That's
for sure.
awesome. That's awesome. See, that's so fun, man. But that was one thing that Keith and I picked up on, the shoes, man. That they were great for the the fact that the judges were all involved in this, man. It's like this is so awesome. So Keith, if they do allow a guest judge, I suggest you pack those sneakers, man.
Well, see, and I'm gonna keep going back to this. I can show up with multiple pair because I'm gonna come with my RV, and then I can do wardrobe changes in between segments, and
I got you.
Every bike you ride, you could do a different pair of shoes.
right.
So Neil, for a family that's never been, and let's say they're bringing their kids with them, is there some advice you can give those families when they come for the day? Do they need to be worried about packing their own food? Those sorts of things. What can they expect out of that $20?
No, we're a one-stop shop. Come and have fun, honestly, and you can spend the entire day. Kids from 3 to 4, teenagers. I had my nephews come by. Like I said, I had my son's basketball coaches come by. I had family come by. No, there's food carts. There's everything. There's the kid zone, as I mentioned. That's when people walk in. Show off, the kid zone, e-bikes, scooters. My nephew came to test ride a scooter, motorcycles. And then for guys like us, even our older kids, you can test drive a Tesla. You can test drive a BMW, a Ford. Man, it's not enough. The car show, talk to our vendors, come get a goodie bag. Honestly, the best advice, come have fun. This is the one place that you can do anything EV in one stop. And like you said, for $20.
Polestar, Anchor. I mean, it's not just cars, man.
Oh no, it's everything.
I'm just, Bosch. I'm trying to show how diversified this is. Chargeway. Easy Go, golf cars.
Everything. We had 2 trailers. Lightship builds an awesome trailer. I was gonna say badass trailer.
Yep, Lightship.
There's boats. Yeah, there's boats, electric boats. There's living
This
sections.
is insane, man. I mean, of course, Meguiar's if you're interested in the actual care and protection.
Yeah.
What other kind
That's
of
in our
cool
section.
tire vendors we've mentioned, like Yokohama? I mean, there is every corner of everything that would have anything to do with electrification.
With electric.
Yeah.
Now just think, Neil, this is the tip of the iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg, right?
This is
Dude,
a
one
little
wheel's
piece of the
there.
pie.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah.
I'm gonna get you on video. I'm scared to do that. I don't need to fall and hurt myself. But no, there's everything. There's a fast track. We had a dirt track. Man, it's crazy. Like you said, when you think how overwhelming it is. And I'll tell you guys this. You guys have been part of shows. I've set up car shows. This behemoth of a monster is our staff. I was telling my wife, I didn't know what it expected. I was there probably 16 hours just doing show off. Imagine setting up all these courses, ride and drives.
Yep.
We had industry day on Friday, so that made it a little more challenging. That was awesome. I had never been part of industry day, which if you guys come out to Austin, that's all the big heavy hitters. I call it kind of like the TED Talk of the EV space.
Okay.
But
yeah,
you know, that was cool. And then we brought in, first time ever, we brought in the aftermarket to industry day. So I took some of my favorite cars from show off. So now the media, fellow builders got to see the cars up close and personal, got to see some bikes up close and personal. So customization is making some headway in the EV space.
That's great. That's great, man. I can't wait to see some of your future stuff that you have going on up here right now, because I know you're every day you're just going, ooh, we should do that or something. I want to give props to your nephew, though. Your nephew that was there, he shot some video.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job. So, you know,
thank you. We have a great team. I have a couple of family and friends working with us, but a quick shout out to Tyler, who does my social, Jose, who does our video and photos, and then my nephew Miles. It's the one I just dropped on LinkedIn. I love the music. As you see, the show off vibe is completely different. Mm-hmm. But we got some really good content planned for the duration of the year. And like I said, this is just building for next year. Just like you said, I'm excited because I know you guys are going to keep killing it. In 3-4 years when we're sitting together, we're like, remember that first one?
Right.
And then you're like, God, what does it turn into?
Yeah.
And that's the exciting part. That's what keeps me up at night. As you said, don't laugh, I've got 6 different notebooks with notes of my insanity. So, you know, it'll be exciting for sure.
That's for the documentary later.
Right.
When,
yes.
You know,
there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody
That's
discovers
the
those.
The Netflix special.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
If we're still alive and have time to do that, let's do it.
I bet you the'll be a Netflix special about you, man.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I appreciate the kind words.
Yeah, that would be very cool.
Yeah. Why lowball it, man? You got to go. Who's the big one now? It's not Netflix anymore, right? It's like
Paramount Plus.
I guess. I don't know.
Apple TV.
Yes.
Yeah.
See, that space keeps changing too.
Absolutely.
You know, and that's what I think our car industry is going to do. Yep. You know, and that's the exciting part.
Right. Wow, man. We can't thank you enough for coming back on and letting us know how well things are going. We knew it was going well because we follow you guys.
No, thank you.
But we really wanted our audience to be aware of it as well. And man, we're so excited for you and the entire team.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to seeing you in Seattle. And you know, who knows? Keith might on his way back from SEMA show.
Man, So let me give the event information one more time, and we'll throw out Neil's socials. So you can find these at the website. It's electrifyexpo.com. They have an attend tab at the top there. You can click on for ticket information, and you can buy tickets there. I think online. Is that right, Neil?
Yeah. So you can get them at the gate or online, and we have a lot of specials before, especially for families.
Got it.
So prior to the show, come to the website. We also send out an email, but there'll be lots of specials.
There's a little buy tickets link under each event, June 24th to the 25th in San Francisco, July 22nd, 23rd in Washington, D.C., August 12th and 13th in the New York City area, September 9th and 10th in the Seattle area, and October 14th, 15th, Miami, November 10th and through the 12th in Austin. Again, electrifyexpo.com. Neil's socials are basically Instagram and Facebook. Your Tjin edition, which is TJIN edition. Did I get that right?
Yeah, and then now because I'm an adult, I play on LinkedIn as well.
Right.
That's just Neil.
We figured we would let you. Yeah, we figured we would let you give that one away, man. Because we've just started getting into that space as well, and it's necessary. It really is necessary to be there. And I was a little apprehensive at first too, but like you were, I remember us having that conversation. But it's a big space to be in. So
it definitely is. Yes, sir.
A lot of industry partners out there. So, but wow, thank you again, Keith. Do you want to take us out?
Everybody,
I bet you've got something great to say here.
Thank you for making us a part of your lives as always. Please come see Neil at one of these events. You've got the dates. Hit him up online. And you can see us with Neil, at least in the Seattle show. Until next time, for Neil, Tjin, and Jay, I'm Keith. Thank you guys for watching and listening. We'll see you on the next one.